Ayun guys, welcome back to #TV. So, sobra ko pong na-miss tong studio na to. Ayun, so for those people who were wondering po, it's been 3 weeks, 2 weeks with TechIt International Training Services. So those people po pala guys that are interested with IT trainings, definitely please check out TechIt International Training Services on Facebook. Ayun. So guys, it is already episode 20 and we have a very, very special guest for us later. So syempre, before we kick this off, 'di ba? We have to give us our daily updates on the COVID. So, let us start with, okay, ayun. So, basically, as of ngayon po, that is 12,091 confirmed cases with recovered of 2,460 and deceased 806. Ayun, guys. So, we are at ncov.ph po na dashboard. It's a site or dashboard that was created by our fellow ISCOs and ISCAs. Ayun. So, here you can see a chart. So, nung May, because they're still gathering the data from DOH. So that's from as of May 14, that's 11,876. Biglang naging 12,091. So that's roughly around 200 new cases again. So guys, so please, kung hindi po essential na lumabas, please do stay inside. Ayun. So anyway guys, I'm very excited as well to be introducing our app. We've developed actually a team here in the Philippines. Volunteer group po sila, ating technology frontliners na tinatawag. Ayun po. So our app is basically called Safe Paths PH or Safe Paths Philippines. So isa din po yan sa mga kinabibisihan namin this past few days, syempre, di ba? So that we can have a rollout of this app. So basically, guys, Safe Paths PH is a contact tracing app. So basically, it has different functions. So basically, itong 3 health statuses yung primary pages nyo. So you will have a green screen kapag wala kang recorded contact with anyone who is COVID positive or hindi ka pumunta sa place na madaming COVID positive patients. Ayun. So yellow naman po if you have close contact with people like those na may COVID that are COVID positive, 'di ba? And then red naman kung if you are COVID positive. So basically here are the different features for each screen. So basically kung COVID free ka or yung green screen sa'yo, it is basically the default screen. So no interaction with a COVID positive person and has additional discrete feature. Actually, this is going to be launched then. So those people na halimbawa, mga guards po natin sa mga buildings, titingnan lang po nila kung ano yung screen nyo in order to assess whether or not you're okay to enter the building, di ba? So, to keep everyone safe then because of this. So, basically, we have some different security features, real-time and date stamp. We have your data privacy is secured. So basically, we've patterned our app from the team from COVID Safe Paths from MIT. So basically, what we aim to do here is to make sure that all your data is actually stored locally on your phones. Ayun. So wala po tayong breach dito of data privacy. So definitely dito sa close contact. So ibig sabihin kapag naka-receive kayo ng notification that you have close contact, definitely you guys should self-quarantine for 14 to 28 days. Ayun. At kung COVID positive naman po, may specific health feature po ito gamit ng mga health workers natin or mga frontliners. They can input your information or your different health informations through this QR code. Sila lang po pwedeng mag-access ng upload tab. So this is the different tabs po on the dashboard for the app. We have paths, ayun, so may heat map of locations with COVID-19. So those na mga places na may mga densely na naka-red, yun po yung mga places na kailangan natin iwasan. So we also have a button po for health access. So for those health access naman po, we need may ipapakita dito yung mga nearest COVID-19 testing centers as well as nearest hospitals in your vicinity. Ayun, so yung profile, same goes with the 3 health statuses na meron po tayo. Checklist po, so if this is a symptom tracking checklist, ayun, so if ever na you guys feel a little bit under the weather, you guys can check with our checklist, di ba? If what your symptoms, the symptoms you're feeling is actually COVID-related, di ba? Or may mga specific din po dyan na mga advices. And then yung upload data, dito unlock lang po ito kapag COVID positive po yung status or yung red screen po natin. So you can basically upload your medical status with the help of a health front worker. Ayun, so here, I will play you guys the app demo. So basically, ayun po yung discrete feature. Kung ayaw po natin makita agad ng mga tao kung ano po yung color na screen natin. Alright, so green tayo. We can upload information. Ayun, in work pa po yung checklist natin. And then, ayun, so paths. Ayun guys. So, syempre, with the help of you guys, if we have a lot of people using this app and logging in their data, malalaman po natin dito yung mga places talaga that we should actually not go to. Ayun, so basically we've also launched our Facebook page as well on Facebook. Ayun. So basically it's called Safe Paths Philippines. Ayun. So guys, look us up on Facebook. That is, again, Safe Paths Philippines, and get the latest updates on our updates for the apps. Ayun, so let me just call in my co-panelists for today, si Ma'am Midi and Sir Mark Lagaza. Ayun po, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Shane, for ikaw naman ang sabihin natin ang nag-invite niyo sa amin dito sa #Philippines. For the past 2 weeks, you've been on TechEd. Now it's #Philippines. So thank you.
Yes, yes. Grabe naman guys, na-miss ko din tong hashtag na to. Munti ko naman sabing TechEd. Ayun. So with me is the President of TechEd International Training Services, and syempre yung CEO and Chief Technical Officer natin na si Sir Mark Lagaza, Mr. Cybersecurity Guru. Ayun. So what are we going to talk about today po, Sir Mark?
Parang nawala kaya doon for just a second. I'm so used to our, how do you say, our TechEd learning environment that running back in this environment is kind of a different norm.
It's a different norm.
Yes. Well, you know, it's from what we were talking about over the past weeks. Education is something that is so important, and of course for parents, it's syempre we have to ensure the responsibilities are basically applied and given to our children, especially in the educational field. Although I personally, and of course my own family, my own kids, are kind of used to this because they do home study. So I was born and bred in home study environments. And this is one of the reasons why home study for me has always been an advantage, where you don't actually have to be physically outside. You can, with technology today and with the number of resources with in the internet, on the internet, it's so much easier now to actually study online, learn online, and with the proper guidance from parents, it's so much easier. So I think this is something that's going to be very interesting to talk about, and how we could actually look forward to this new norm.
Yeah, definitely. So ayun guys, without further ado, let me just introduce to you guys our interview. We are our guest for today. Ayun. So our interviewee is yung Chief Test Specialist Partnerships and Linkages Office from TESDA. She's also an alumna from the University of the Philippines. So, AB Political Science, Master in Public Administration. Ayun, accredited broadcaster din po siya under KBP, as well as she is a fellow under International Institute of Journalism, Berlin. Wow! Alright guys, so please welcome Miss Floramel Joy Songsong. Ayun. Hi po, Ma'am Joy.
Hello, hi, at hello sa mga ka-hashtag natin.
Ka-hashtag? Yun na ba yung tawag na mga ka-hashtag?
Good afternoon, Ma'am Joy.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
It's
So,
a
Ma'am Joy,
wonderful to be here on our program.
So, Ma'am Joy, saan po kayo right now, ma'am? Like, sa QC?
I'm in Valenzuela.
Oh, Valenzuela. So, how are things naman po there, ma'am, COVID-wise? Valenzuela.
COVID-wise, we're just so blessed to have good local government officials kasi
Mhm.
meron mga preparations and na-anticipate yung mga magiging needs ng kanilang constituents. Like for example, there's this structure na binild before sa Valenzuela area na originally kasi ang kanyang purpose for that structure ay para do sa rehabilitation program. Pero when COVID came, madaling na i-tweak yung kanyang uh, magiging function sa pag-address ng city government doon sa COVID pandemic.
At least, at least. Dito po sa QC, Sir Mark, kamusta naman po tayo dito sa QC?
Surprising.
Natahimik.
Do I have to answer that? Baka magalit si ano, si si Mayor eh. Iingat na ako, mabibigas
you could
kong
do
salita,
better.
yan ako kung paano ako magsalita, dire-diretso ako eh. So, it's a little surprising here in Quezon City though, because kalalabas lang namin kanina ni Mrs. And we're actually, we're all located here with our team members is right smack in the middle of QC. And, it's almost like a regular day. Traffic is literally flowing, pretty heavy. It's not like, on the first day when lockdown was first announced. So it's kind of concerning, to be honest with you. It's really concerning because based on the IETF resolution, which was resolution 35, we are basically under MECQ kasi may apat na criteria yun eh. And when you talk about MECQ, you're supposed to be on a harder level of lockdown. It's not something that's lifted at maging mas lighter. It's actually more stricter. Kasi kung wala kang pass, kung wala kang reason para lumabas, talagang hindi ka dapat lumabas. Kaso, hindi ko kasi mabitbit eh. It's a good thing. I'm not doing this one on a mobile phone. Kasi literally, if I were to look out my window, you'll see how much traffic is here in Quezon City. So, as I said, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry talaga, Sir Mark, kasi naalala ko tuloy si Kim Chiu nung sinabi mong bawal lumabas. Hindi ko pa alam kung lahat ng viewers natin nakakaalam ng about sa bawal lumabas ni Kim Chiu. Pero mamaya po sa dulo po ng video natin, ipa-play po natin yung bawal lumabas song ni Kim Chiu.
We're not gonna sing. Oh, are we gonna have me sing?
No, you're gonna say.
Okay na ako?
No, we have the president of hashtag. The president of hashtag has to sing them later. No, I'm
Grabe.
kidding. All right.
Alright.
But yeah,
So,
it's literally concerning though.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Mom Joy, especially in the line of work that she does as well. It's something that concerns pretty much everybody, especially in the educational field. So since our business too, or one of our businesses is primarily focused in education delivery, we're actually now migrating our entire environment to a totally different level. So we have started literally, what would be the right term here, expediting our process in making sure that people can, still do what they're doing at home and study at home using online learning. But I'm sure we're going to talk about that later on. So,
online
what
learning.
about
Yes, definitely. Sir Mark. Alright, so ano po ba ngayon yung status, Sir Mark or Ma'am Mids? Or if you guys know about yung mga DepEd and SHED na mga resolutions on education? Are they gonna push for September, August? Kasi I've actually heard na magpupush sila ng June. Na mag-open ang
I think ang naging yata, ako kasi I have 3 kids so they are all under DepEd. So yun yung inaantabayanan ko for now na nila kung i-announce nila na magkakaroon nga siya na mag-start ulit yung natin yung school year by June. But yung first kasi nila na in-announce before is August 24, if I'm not mistaken. So, pero kasi siguro ako as a parent, mas preferred ko na i-delay na lang siya ng isang taon. Kasi
Mm.
for safety reasons, no, kasi hindi natin alam kung ano pwede mangyari sa kanila when they're inside the classroom. Kasi kahit sabihin na natin merong ano siya, merong parang nangyari ata kasi hahatiin. So merong online, merong kumbaga merong face to face na nandun sila sa school, yung usual, yung conventional way ng ano ng teaching. Mababawasan nga lang yung number ng students per class. Pero the thing is, hindi naman natin alam yung safety ng ano kung paano ba talaga siya ma-handle. Kasi especially for public schools, sobrang dami ng estudyante. So, hindi natin alam kung ano yung pwede mangyari sa mga bata during those times. So, ako, basically, with DepEd's resolution right now, medyo ko dun, negative.
Negative. Okay. Sir Mark, would you know kung June, August?
Yeah, actually, there is a resolution that was, how do I say, released last May 11, which is DepEd Order 007 of 2020, which pretty much indicates that we're looking at August 24, which Ms. Vidi correctly stated. Yeah, it's although there's a lot of guidelines and there are a lot of items, I actually just browsed through it just today, and I only looked at specifically the date when this is. Probably maybe want to have that one shared in your screen later on. I'll share that in our chat panel. Yeah, it's I don't know how to react. A lot of people really take COVID for granted, honestly. For
Do they
particular
take
Philippines. Sorry.
no? What do you mean by do they take COVID lightly, Sir Mark?
Well, you see, a lot of people used to start out when COVID started coming out in the news. A lot of people came up with statistics saying that what should we be scared of because it only affects or it only how they say the mortality rate is very very low. The symptoms are similar to influenza. I have screenshots. I'm not going to post them because it could be incriminating to the people that posted this before. But this is where we were, talking about it even back in January and February, especially during the time we started out with hashtag and with the organization. That this is a very serious matter, and it shouldn't be taken for granted. But you see, social media has tried to make it so. How do I say? In a sense, they try to not really talk about the actual effects. Now, like in the US, I think we have close to about 40,000 deaths, I think. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, though, but I think it goes up to about that amount of fatalities or people that have actually died because of COVID. And, if we were to really take items like these very seriously, we should actually be taking the guidelines that the government has been imposing also seriously. But as I said, we're now on MPCQ dito sa NCR, and parang it's just a normal working day now for people. On a Saturday. I'm
On a
excited
Saturday.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen on Monday. But of course, I'd like to hear too what Ma'am Joy would
Ma'am
also,
Joy.
how do you say about regards to the current situation.
Personally, I do not have school children anymore. I have grandchildren who are of school age. So, sa akin naman, I'd like to look at it as at the perspective na we're just so fortunate, we're so blessed because children nowadays are so much into gadgets,
Mm-mm.
exposed na sila sa uh, mga possible na tool for learning. And I'd like to see it as an advantage. Kasi nga, we cannot help it eh. This is the new normal. So, we might as well adapt to the new normal. And palagay ko ang mas mahihirapang mag-adapt ay yung mga provider yung mga teachers, yung mga nagfa-facilitate ng learning. Kasi
Mm-mm.
yung mga children, exposed na sila eh. So,
Sa
madali
mga
na lang sila
gadget.
Oo, sa mga gadgets, madali na lang sila mag-adapt doon sa gagamitin na module. Pero one thing is sure, we just really have to adapt to this new normal wherein yung multimodal learning ang
Platform
requirement.
ako.
Oo, yun ang kailangan ngayon. So, kailangan ihanda rin yung infrastructure, yung mga sa schools, yung
Mm-mm.
mga gagamitin na modules, and even the teachers who would be facilitating the learning process.
Mm-mm. Totoo.
Otherwise,
Totoo.
sayang eh. Sayang yung available na technology, sayang
Mm-mm.
din yung readiness ng mga estudyante for learning using this modality kung hindi makakasabay yung mga learning institutions at yung provider noong learning process.
Okay, okay. Totoo naman po yun, ma'am. Ma'am Joy, I was wondering, would you know how to, or do you have any suggestions po kaya sa mga schools na how they can better equip themselves na making sure that everyone in the school is healthy, parang ganun, to make everyone safe pa rin when kapag yung mode ng education wise, yung conventional way nga po pumapasok po talaga physically.
Oo. Non-negotiable yung yung wearing of masks at saka yung
Mm-mm,
social
mm-mm,
distancing. So palagay ko kailangan mag-adjust talaga yung school din kasi ang inaalaw ay per square meter ay isang tao. So kailangan i-compute mo yung number of students that you can actually allow to get inside the room or wherever yung venue for learning. And i-adjust mo yung pwede lang na maging present during a given time para hindi na compromise yung safety ng mga estudyante.
mm-mm. How ready do you think po yung Philippines in terms of going back to the school? Pero in a general sense po, Ma'am Joy, do you think the Philippines is ready to resume parang conventional way of education by probably August or June?
Ah, mahirap masabi kung ang readiness kasi very relative yan Pwedeng sa isa okay na siya, ready na siya. Pero in terms of infrastructure, I doubt if our learning institutions would be ready. And even yung mga teachers nga na kailangan mag-adjust to the new normal, I don't think that can be realized in such a short time
Mm-mm.
from now up to August or June. I don't
Mm-mm.
think kakayanin na kagad.
So, parang better-ish kapag naka-LMS or learning management system, yung per educational platform, I mean online platform lang muna for now, yung studies, yung
Mhm.
education,
Yeah,
habang hindi pa
and
nag-lower yung curve. Oo.
totoo yan. And I think naman in terms of yung readiness na ng mga estudyante nga. Kasi yung nakikita ko yung aking mga grandkids. Even nung last school year naman, yung mga schools nila, meron ng mga naka-in place na system like
Mm-mm.
yung teacher, nagbibigay siya ng assignment sa kanyang mga class or sa kanyang hinahandle na mga students via online. May mga submission na rin ng mga requirements via online or assignments. So, palagay ko konting na lang, preparation na lang and tweaking para mas maka-adapt tayo dun sa
Mm-mm.
magiging requirement of the new normal.
Mm-mm. Totoo.
I have to agree with Ms. Joy with regards to the how to say with this connotation of the word new norm. And I think this is now an opportunity where technology could actually now become more advanced locally here in the Philippines, because if we were to base, how they say, our capability on internet. Now a lot of people scrutinize and say, "Ay, Pilipinas, mabagal yan sa internet," but you know, I would also have to disagree, because there are also other countries that actually have LMS-based systems, online learning systems, and pretty much everything, technologically adapted into one environment. Um, in worser situations than we have here, like for instance, if you were in, I'll take, because I spent some time in Australia. If you take, for example, Australia, you'd basically put under what we refer to as a capping. So you'd have, let's say, X number of available bandwidth, or X number of data that you can consume, and then they'll literally cap you, meaning to say you can no longer use your internet on a faster speed. And if we were to compare from first-hand experience the speed of internet that we have here and the speed of internet that they have in Australia at the time, I tell you, it's how to say, fairly the same. There's really not that much difference. And the thing is, if we have DSL at home and we have internet at home, it actually, in reality, saves more money. You see, a lot of, alam mo, medyo nakakatawa dito eh. And I don't know if Millie and Joy would agree with me on this particular side. But when we have kasi the ability to have our kids, because they're now technologically ready. I mean, literally, a kid uses now the internet. During my days, my God, I was just using Nintendo and Family Computer, and Atari, and Game Boy. And that wasn't even using the internet, okay? And that was just for games. But now the kids now, where they have the ability to interact with online gaming, where they have, although it does have its disadvantages to a certain degree, but in terms of the skills of using it, it's not difficult anymore for adaptability. It's so easy now for people to adapt, especially the Gen Z, the Generation Z today. And because of that, any person today cannot live without their smartphone. I remember back in 2004 when we were trying to push smartphones into the market, replacing basically your PDA tablets, okay?
PDA.
And the PDA, they used to be called PDAs, okay? It's not public display of affection, okay? It used to be your packet, how do you say, diary, okay? And it had no SIM cards. It was just a storage where you could, write your, it was an electronic notebook for you. Which is what people now refer to in some cases as a tablet. And we were getting technology from China that was very cheap technology, where we could already then deploy and implement mobile phones that were smartphones with the capability of, how to say, yung LCD niya, andyan lahat. But trust me, the first time I showed a person a PDA phone, mean to say na meron kang screen, which is what we all have today, okay, and all that stuff. They were like, nasaan ang dipindot dito? Saan ang pipindot? And they wanted the clicking sound. Because they didn't want the touching, They wanted to have the click. Kasi remember the old Motorola phones, Nokia phones, the 3110, 5110, diba? Diba? Puro de-click yun eh. Diba? So ngayon, nagpipindot ka ngayon dun sa tablet mo or dun sa smartphone mo, and there was no clicking at all, and then you had to make the sound come out for clicking purposes though. But the adaptability was so different. People rejected smartphones at the time, and literally my business just couldn't proceed with that one, because we had, how do you say, that's the time when we were basically trying to roll out yung internet ng bayan. So internet per barangay rollout. But now that the technology, has spread out. This now gives, as I said, a very big opportunity for both the private sector and the government sector to be able now to adopt. Unfortunately, we were in a way forcefully pushed into this one. And as I said, I would like to look at it as a positive aspect, in a positive way of thinking. Ang dami na kasing negativity eh. So if you look at it in a positive way, you'll actually feel na, especially for families that are really, kung sabihin natin, budget conscious, mas lalo ngayon, hindi ganyan kadali, number one, humanap ng trabaho. Kasi no companies, because of the structuring that we have right now, na 50% working from home, 50% pwede lang pumasok, okay? Tawag yata doon yung, ano bang term nila na ginamit doon? Structure? Ano ba yun? Skeletal workforce. Diba? Even in the government. So when you're now doing skeletal workforcing, it's literally, companies won't hire, okay? So now people are going to be trying to save money. They're not going to be wanting to spend money. And people are going to be looking for jobs, okay? Now, families that may have, family members that may have lost their jobs at home, sending their kids to school, makakatipid ka ng sobra. Bakit? Yung bata, yung sabihin natin, anak mo, let's say a teenager, hindi nagagala yan, hindi nahihingi ng extra allowance. Eh pag sabihin natin, lalabas ka, Diyos ko, sa panahon ko noon, 20 pesos, ang laking bagay yun. Diba? Today, 200 pesos, 500 pesos, nako, baka di oras sasabihin ng tatanungin pa ng anak mo sa'yo Daddy, Mommy, bakit naghihirap pa tayo? Kung 500 lang bibigay mo na allowance sa kanila, diba? So, you save a lot already on that particular score. And you also make sure that the community or the crowd that they're in is also guided by you. But again, it has its own, how do you say, psychological backlash as well. Kasi a person can't just stay in the house 24/7. Parang, parang self-imprisonment na nangyari sa'yo eh. But this is something that is, I would say, a very big advantage, especially for an eye-opener now for the government. Because we have been, at TechEd International, we have been really pushing for LMS-based systems. We have been pushing the government to use LMS-based systems. And now it's an eye-opener na, uy, medyo na tayo. Kung may LMS na yung gobyerno natin, wala sanang problema to. Diba? Yung educational system, wala sanang delays. Kasi in terms of technology, we're ahead. In some countries, compared to some countries, we're ahead. And yet, infrastructure-wise, built around this core system, we're lacking components. May mga items dito na medyo kulang tayo, which gives now these, how do you say, these divisions of the private sector and the government sector a better perspective in applied technology.
Applied technology. Okay. Mami,
On my naman, ako kasi maganda naman yung yung technology natin right now. Kaya lang ako kasi naiisip ko, what about yung mga nasa poorest of the poor? Parang mga ganun. So how can they adapt dun sa online elements, 'di ba? So wala silang phone, wala silang internet, so wala silang laptop. How are they going to have their education right now? Yun yung isa dun sa ko kasi we have to see both both sides of the picture eh. So mabilis makakapag-adapt yung nasa middle class papunta sa upper class, and also yung mga technologically mga tao. Pero kasi yung mga, paano naman yung mga, the only way how they can have their education is through yung public schools. Kasi yun yung gusto ko din sanang marinig na natin with DepEd or with the agencies natin dito sa Pilipinas. Kasi yung majority kasi ng mga estudyante natin, they can easily adapt with the technology. Alam mo naman ng Pinoy, kahit kalalabas lang, kayang-kaya nating i-adapt yan di ba? So, but then again, we have to also consider how their families can have their own computer, have their own internet connection, tapos yung mga LMS na yan. Syempre, yung adaptability din ng bata, mabilis talaga siya. Pero yung mga kailangan gamitin ng mga estudyante, syempre, kailangan din nating i-prepare for them. And I hope CHED and DepEd can help us as well, and the government as well, and with TESDA also, yung dun sa ano natin na yan, dun sa mga ganyan wish, kahit sinong parent, yun yung wish 'di ba? Kasi kung papipiliin tayo, mas maganda naman talaga yung ano yung work yung I mean yung study at home, yung
Yung
kasi
online.
kagaya kan yung online kasi mas maraming time para makapag-spend with the family, 'di ba? Tapos safe pa sila kasi hindi nila kailangan may time for them to mingle with their kumbaga with their peers, with their classmates, ganyan, may time na ganun. Pero right now kasi yung big problem natin dito is how are we going to support yung kailangan, yung need for them to be educated, yung mga materials na kailangan gamitin.
Totoo. Kasi when people say na pantay-pantay tayo because of this pandemic, sometimes it's not true, not necessarily true. There are people talaga in the slum areas that do not have the same privileges that we have, like our safety inside our
Definitely.
own parang four corners of the house, di ba? Same goes with food.
Definitely.
Kaya it goes din di ba sabi natin na karapatan yung education ng every mamamayan. Pero what if nga the new norm is online? So paano naman sila? May insights po ba kayo doon, Joy? Yes, Ma'am Joy.
From my end naman, ako kasi I was raised during the time na hindi naman available ang mga ganyan-ganyang online. And I'm a product of a public school. And during my time, dahil hindi naman nakaka-afford ang parents ko to provide yung mga volumes of encyclopedia as research or reference materials, meron namang mga public libraries na we can visit. So I was just thinking kung pwede natin i-modify yung ganong setup before na instead of books or yung printed materials, what if the local government provide a place or an access to internet doon sa kanilang constituents, of course with the help ng marami naman kasi yung mga CSR dyan, mga private companies or mga foundations who are very much willing and able to provide assistance sa mga local government units natin who would be needing yung ganong infrastructure, yung ganong system na pwedeng magamit at maging available para sa kanilang mga constituents. So, palagay ko, if you would just be taking a look at it using the lens ng mga sinaunang panahon, no? Yung mga naging practices and yung naging paraan natin in providing what the constituents or the people cannot afford, pero one of the necessities, pwede naman siguro nating magawa ng paraan yun, no? If you would just be more creative and more siguro ay open to the possibilities of partnerships and linkaging with other able and willing organizations or groups.
I have to agree with Mr. And I think this is something that from the provincial aspect has already been done. Like for example, in Cavite, sila Governor Remulla were actually pushing for yung internet for the public, so that it basically gives them free internet access para makapag sabihin natin nakapag-aral sila. So may mga hotspots that would be and technically speaking, the hotspots now today are what we refer to as libraries of the past. Kasi pretty much, when it was kind of sad, when I went to the National Library, dumaan na ako dun sa may Manila. It was literally empty. Normally you would have a lot of students kasi kasama yan sa U-Belt Diba? Ang dami dapat mga estudyante nandun sa library that would be picking up books and reading books and doing their own research. But majority of the time today now is i-google mo na lang. Diba? So pag
True.
ginugol mo, andun na halos lahat ng information na makukuha mo. Ang tanong na lang kung hindi siya fake news. Diba? So mahirap naman kasi pag fake news. Kasi we have to then of course know ano ba yung
Verify.
mga sites na may integrity at kasi kahit sabihin natin, minsan mga tao, kine-question nila rin yung level of integrity ni Wikipedia. But nothing really beats the traditional. I'm very old school, and I still love carrying books with me. I still love reading books. Doesn't matter what kind of books, maybe work-related books or sabihin natin novels. I really never got used to reading on a phone and going through the e-books. But I enjoy still having the traditional, and the smell of old paper. It's still the best thing, that's just amazing, and this is the thing, why even with my kids, I don't want them to, be so accustomed with how they say, dealing with the internet and the monitor and digital stuffs that much, that they still have to use the traditional, how they say, old school books. That's pretty much where we rooted ourselves from. But that is true. This is probably where provinces, governors, congressmen should now start looking into and addressing that, because it gives now equal opportunity. Isipin yung ganito. Let's say you have a kid that's, sabihin natin, down in Mindoro, kasi my family roots originate from Occidental Mindoro. Na how much wood, ilang kaban ng bigas ang kailangan ibenta ni tatay at ni nanay bilang farmers? Kasi my grandparents were farmers. Okay, para maipadala nila yung anak nila, okay, or tulungan din ipadala yung apo nila. Diba? Kasi syempre, hirap ng buhay sa probinsya eh. Para lang, number one, bumiyahe. Pangalawa, kung sabihin natin, board and lodging. Na mo board and lodging sa Metro Manila, napakamahal yan. Kaya sabihin natin, mag-bed spacer ka. Sige, mag-bed spacer ka. Pagkain mo pa. Diba? Now, imagine if you can get your degree. And this is the way I've always conceptualized learning. You can get your degree no matter where you are. Now, how about even OFWs? OFWs that would like to gain, sabihin natin, their degree programs online. Degree programs have been now, how do I say, circulating on the internet for years. And it's only now that we're actually spending more time into this. But it gives now opportunities. When one door closes, especially dito, another one opens. And this basically becomes now an opening pathway for other opportunities. That would be an eye-opener. And this is big. When I say that this is big, revenue-wise, napakalaki to. Para sa gobyerno, para sa mga pribadong sektor. I think it's sa lahat, it gives opportunities for people because you can now lower prices. You don't have to have excruciatingly expensive prices. The reason why, schools are very expensive is because they have operational costs that are also very expensive. But by putting LMS-based solutions or online learning solutions, it now becomes a cheaper solution, and they can basically reduce their prices considerably. But it's my 2 cents, though.
Yes. Kasi, di ba, like right now, there are different apps as well that are collaborating with, say, Smart or Globe, or with different other private entities that offer faster internet connection. So I think it's more on a bayanihan basis, or like more on a collaboration basis here in the Philippines, that we should all like help together in order to, parang to fight COVID together. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of the challenges with this COVID-19.
And, to be honest with you, I don't know if Millie and Joy would also agree with me, and yourself as well. The pandemic that we have, especially, let's all admit it, pag Pinoy, matigas ang ulo. Kasaway minsan. Hindi minsan. Madalas tayo. We try not to, when we know that there are rules and regulations, we try to break it. I don't know why. But that's just sometimes the mentality and the culture, that rebellious culture. Okay, that's embedded in the system. And the pandemic is not going to disappear tomorrow. It's not going to disappear in the next couple of months. It's going to be part of our everyday life that we have to deal with, and it also, how they say, has a lot of strain because I'll take one classic example, Shane. I don't mean to bring this up
Yeah.
during our program though, but you have had a personal problem that you experienced today, a very, very painful issue that happened today in your family, and you can't even travel home, to the Visayas region because of this pandemic. So we just have to learn how to get used to it. And again, a habit is not something you build over time. Overnight. It takes
Yeah.
time. It takes time to get used to. Lalabas ka, uuwi ka, hugas ka ng kamay. Alam mo, nakakatawa dito nung nasa palengke nga kami kanina while observing people walking by the streets, sanay na sanay pa rin sila dumara sa kalye. Gawin mo sa Singapore yan, penalize ka, laki na
Dumura?
pa ng multa. But literally, people are just, spitting in the streets. They don't care. They're so used to it. Diba? And people are also, they're trying to get used to wearing face masks. But that still doesn't solve the problem. And with regards to education for kids, I wouldn't risk, if my kids were going to regular school programs, I wouldn't risk my kids going back to school in this kind of situation. Why? Well, sabihin natin the mortality rate of a kid is lower. They could then transfer that to either their mom or to me. Okay? And we both have lung problems. Now, it puts now us at risk. Now, what happens? Sige, gusto natin maging sabayan sa flow. Sige, padala natin ang mga anak natin. We follow what the kids want. They want to go back. They want to see their classmates. They want to join. When they come back, the parents now come back with serious, level of sickness, okay, from the COVID. Kasi sila, okay, lagnat, stuff, they recover pretty fast. But then with people with older ages that are that have higher risks, okay, mortality risks, they now contract it. And they're the ones that are basically working for the family. They're the breadwinners. The mom and the dad or the grandparents are the breadwinners. And all of a sudden, they pass away. Anong yun ang mangyayari dun sa mga anak? It's a domino effect. Diba? The kids won't have anybody there now to look after them. So it's a chain, and it's an unfortunate thing to have happened here in the Philippines. And it's really happening very bad in the US. It's happening bad in other countries, and it just only shows us that we have to be more prepared in other aspects.
Yeah, that's true. We need to be more prepared. So anyway, for everyone's concern, diba, Sir Mark, your kids are homeschooled. So are there kasi since everyone basically is parang transferring to an online learning platform, so parang normal na din to sa mga kids mo, Sir Mark, right?
Yep, it is. I never went to school. A lot of people have that question, hey, Mark, you have achieved so much, you have reached a certain level now in terms of state, and you mingle with the different types of, high-profile individuals. But, it doesn't necessarily, when we talk about status quo, the paper doesn't bring you anywhere. It may have a certain standpoint just to get that interest, but if you're an entrepreneur, it's never the paper that carries you to success. It's your knowledge, it's your creativity, it's your experience in life that actually makes you a successful individual. And just because you studied at home doesn't mean that you're limiting yourself to success in the real world. It's always about your tribe. Diba? Yan lagi ko sinasabi sa mga tao I never had a high school prom. I never joined a high school prom. I never had a high school girlfriend. My girlfriend was my dog, who was a male dog. Okay, that was my classmate.
Your girlfriend was your male dog.
He was my best friend. He was everything to me. Okay, my dog. It would be my dad who would be teaching me. Okay, and I was very lucky it was my dad teaching me, because it's something that I don't have the capacity to do with my kids. as much as my dad did, because literally I'd be studying from an 8 to 5 schedule. That was very strict. 8 o'clock dapat gising na ako alas 7 ng umaga. Gigisingin na ako ng tatay ko. And then I have to be at the, study room, okay, which is also our, dinner table, okay. I'd have all my books in my backpack. So parang nasa school ka rin eh.
You're
I'd have
going
my
to
books in
school,
my
yes.
backpack, and then I would go into the kitchen, which is where me and my dad would study. And I'd pull out my books specifically for that particular subject. And then I'll be studying each subject 1 hour per day. Okay, so I remember distinctly, it was math as the first subject, and we had English, we had history. So anything all those particular courses of the 8 or 9 topics that we were doing until 5 o'clock. And then pagdating ng alas 5, excited na ako. Kasi 5 o'clock means pwede na ako lumabas. Pwede na ako makipaghalubilo sa mga bata sa labas.
Halubilo.
Oo. But, if I were to look at it, if I didn't do home study, because a lot of people criticize my father, kasi I was one of the first home study students. Back in the 80s, pag sinabi home study ka, parang, okay, sino ka? Hindi ka ba, wala bang pagbayad ng magulang mo sa school? Or wala bang plano ba mga magulang mo para papasukin ka sa eskwelahan? But look, if we were to look at it on the bright side, it made me a very strong person. I became a pretty, qualified individual working for the military, and in the private sector, I pretty much hit all the numbers that I needed to hit. And in the entrepreneur aspect, I got to meet individuals like Miss Joy and a number of different prominent individuals. And I'm not going to discuss this on our program right now because it's still off the record and not something that we should be talking about. But I have been pointing these particular topics. I'm sure Miss Joy would agree to me months before, when we were having our talks and when we were talking about certain educational enhancements. But it's not because I was a home study student, and it wouldn't have been because I was going to school. It's all how your parents raise you to be. Everything's just, everything leads down to what do you want to become? And do your family members, do the people around you support you to what you want to become?
Mm-hmm. So I think online-based learning is actually doable and very productive. Kasi one of the issues kasi of online-based learning is that people would think it's unproductive kasi people would the kids would tend to stray away from their learning applications than towards their gaming applications, diba? Or Facebook, social media. Pero what should happen is a collaboration or parang between parents and their kids, parang binabantayan din at some point or gina-guide rather ng mga parents.
One of the cool things, if you don't mind me saying so, as I said, it all boils out to parents. It all depends on how you deal with educational systems. If the parent doesn't care about your child's education, basta gawin mo to, kamusta ang grades mo? Grades mo, okay, sige, tara, that's it. Nothing's going to happen to the kid. But basing from my experience, when my dad would be pretty much checking, okay, did you study this? Can I verify you learned something? Traditional people are like that. Old school parents, pag hindi mo nagawa yung dapat gawin, palo yan. Literally, my bum, so to speak, can I say that on air? My bum, so to speak, was literally sore because, syempre, I was the only son, kind of, in a way, I wouldn't say I was spoiled though, but pasaway ako. Okay, bunso na, and in a way, bunso at panganay sa tatay ko, bunso naman sa nanay ko, and I was the only son, as I said. And pasaway ako. I openly admit, pasaway talaga ako. And literally, pinapalo talaga ako ng mga nanay ko, ng tatay ko. But that was the discipline that we grew up with in the traditional days. Today, you try to make palo of anybody, my God, you're going to be faced with a lot of problems. So, again, the question there is, how do you then discipline people to understand the meaning of responsibility? Like, for instance, today, what's the meaning of responsibility? Huwag kang lumabas. Pasaway ka, lumalabas ka. O sige, pag-uwi mo, ang pamilya mo nahawa ngayon ng COVID. Ngayon, ireklamo ka, uy, may COVID, walang ginagawang gobyerno. Meron, kaso ginapag mo yung rules and regulations.
Ano ba yan? Bawal lumabas? Bawal lumabas.
Bawal
Ay,
mo ba?
nako.
Sa iyo, sabi nga ni Ma'am
Dapat
Joy.
kasi mag-comply ka. At
Ah.
mag-submit.
Totoo yan. And if I may also add, malaki talaga yung role na ginagampanan ng parents in
Parents.
even in yung ba encouraging yung mabilis na pag-adapt ng kanyang anak doon sa bagong system, sa bagong normal. Kasi kung makikita ng anak na very resistant yung kanyang parents doon sa mga dapat gawin na pagbabago or pag-modify or pag-alis ng mga dating ginagawa para maka-comply doon sa bagong requirement, mahihirapan din yung anak, yung estudyante na makapag-adapt at comply kung ano yung requirement sa moment. Kasi sabi nga nila, di ba, children learn not what they hear from their parents, but what they see from their parents. So kahit sabihin niya na kailangan mag-aral ka, be responsible, be disciplined. Kung yung parents naman, di naman nakikita ang ganun ka-responsible, ganun ka, and even sila resistant doon sa sinasabi ng kanilang mga officials or ng government leaders na gawin ito, bawal itong dapat gawin, pag lumabas, dapat naka-face mask. Kung yung parents ay hindi nagpe-face mask at ayaw sumunod, very resistant doon sa mga inilalagay na mga restrictions
guidelines,
or safety measures, diba? Mahirap maintindihan, madaling maintindihan ng bata pag iba yung nakikita niya at iba yung nadidinig niya. Oo.
I absolutely agree, Ms. Joy, on that particular point. Like, susuwayin mo yung anak mo, uy, huwag ka masyado mag-mobile phone. And then makikita, magulang lagi nag-mobile phone. Diba? It's very true. You have the best way to be an example is to show, starting from yourself. As a parent, you have to be the number one example. It's not easy. You can't do like, sige, I'll do something crazy, hoping that my kids won't see that. Okay, that's where the term responsibility comes into the play again. It's not just your sabihin natin social responsibility of acting normal, but it's also your parental. That's very important. People disregard that. Yung parental responsibility. Alam mo yun, yung tipong, sige, meron na akong anak, kaso bibigay ko na lang sa mga magulang ko. Kay lolo at lola ka na lang makinig. Diba? So, natural, kung anong gawain mo, yun din ang magiging gawain din ng anak mo.
Totoo. So, may mga parents din kasi ng mga may mga parents na hindi nagki-keep ng mga promises, baka iniisip ng mga kiddies din, di ba, na it's not true or okay lang pala na mag-break tayo ng mga promises. Mga ganun. Kahit konting hugot lang po natin dyan, di ba? Anyway, guys, I would like to ask naman po yung mga inyong kanya-kanyang mga insights kung if you had kids or sa inyo po, Ma'am Joy, in terms of your grandkids, would you be okay with sending your kids or your grandchildren to parang conventional schooling during this pandemic, or okay lang sa inyo na multi-platform, or do you think you would want to wait out the whole pandemic in general? Sige po, Ma'am Joy, kayo po.
Kung ako ang tatanungin, mas okay sa akin yung multimodal or yung blended learning.
Blended learning.
Oo, pwedeng online, pwede rin siyang yung face-to-face na teaching method. Kasi nobody can tell kung hanggang kailan ang COVID, no? Napaka unpredictable ng future in terms of anong mangyayari sa atin because of the COVID. Pero kung if we would just be doing what we can do for now, yung mga adjustments, palagi ko mas madali tayong makaka-adapt doon sa magiging bagong normal kung magiging open tayo dun sa mga ganitong modifications, yung
Mm-mm.
pagkakaroon nga ng blended learning,
Mm-mm.
para mas madali tayo mag-adjust compared dun sa kung very close na tayo dun, closed-minded tayo dun sa, ayoko niyan, gusto ko yung traditional pa rin, o yung nasa classroom ang setting. Eh, what if matagalan bago magkaroon ng
Mm-mm.
vaccine for COVID at
For
hindi
COVID.
tayo makabalik kaagad doon sa dati nating ginagawa. Sayang yung time. So, para sa akin, let's just do what we can for now, no? And do the best that we can for now until such time that we come up with something better. And when something better comes, then let's do better. No? Ganun lang
Yes,
kasi.
let's do better.
For
Key
now,
phrase.
let's do the best that we can. Pero
Absolutely.
until such time na there's something better to work on. And pag
Mm.
dumating na yung something better to work on, then let's do better. Yun lang yun. Yun lang
Totoo.
kasimple.
Kasi if we keep on waiting for the best output or yung pinaka-output, I think we're just going to be stuck. So kung ano yung best option for now, let's just do it. And then kung habang nire-revise nila to a better version, o sige, doon na din tayo sa better. Let's do better. Kayo, Ma'am Midi.
Well, right now, yung ginagawa ng mga kids ko, they're reading through the books, yung textbooks na meron sila available dun sa bahay kasi 'di ba, meron tayong mga nire-release na mga books eh. And then meron din silang nakakapag-search din sila through the internet. So they also have their kumbaga yung mga information na nakakapag-aral pa rin naman sila. So yung ano nila is kumbaga mas maganda na yung adaptability din natin dun sa mga bagong technologies, mas ano nila kasi mas magagamit din naman nila, especially right now na at risk pa rin talaga yung pumunta tayo dun sa conventional.
Totoo. Okay, Sir Mark, are you ready na ba na ilabas po yung mga chikiting ninyo into the conventional way of learning, or would you just strictly put them for online learning or
No.
homeschooling pa rin?
Yeah.
No.
Well, given the fact that they're following my footsteps, so to speak, with the Cambridge UK process. No, this actually makes me even, this adds more fuel to the fire
Fuel.
that I have in me in terms of my goal to spread the word locally here in the Philippines as well as abroad as well for other countries that don't have LMS systems actually established, to push it. This is something that is an example. It's I'd like to share an interesting quote. I just had to make sure that my words.
Yes.
Okay. By Charles Darwin. Okay, the most important factor in survival is neither intelligence nor strength, but adaptability. You see, in business, it's applicable across the board. If you're a person that's like, oh, you're so smart, oh, you're so strong, but you don't know how to adapt in your current situation, you're going to lose. Like, for example, with us at TechEd International, if we were basically to focus primarily on getting students that would be coming into the office and attending, we would have closed out. I mean, literally, we would have said, okay, this is the end of our life. We're not going to go anywhere. We're going to be broke, and we're never going to be able to survive this kind of situation. But with the internet, nothing's impossible. We just have to adapt. We have to find what are the best ways of adapting to our current state and reinvent. You don't have to reinvent the wheel though, but adapt to your climate, adapt to that environment, and success will be there. It's just always a question about being creative in terms of how you adapt. So yes, I'm never going to send. To answer your question again, I'm I'm not gonna. I stand firm by my ground that I wouldn't send my kids to school. Well, they can do that at a later stage, when they're more serious and more specialized. And if, let's say, for example, their specialization is into, you can't. Not everything you can learn online. Trust me. If you want to be a medical surgeon, you can't dissect by watching somebody dissect how to say whatever they're
Frog.
doing with apps, okay, a mouse or whatever. If, let's say, for example, you're a mechanic, you can't fix a car by just watching somebody else fix a car on a video. You have to do hands-on. You got to have your hands
Yeah,
dirty.
practicals.
Okay, so not everything requires can be done through online learning, but it does give you the ability to minimize. And in this situation that we're faced with right now, it minimizes your exposure time, diba? And possibly your expenses.
Exposure time. Totoo, totoo. So, I would also be wondering, I want your inputs as parents or as professionals being, ayun, parang businessmen, di ba? For, ano po yung magiging tips niyo po for the parents regarding this, regarding education during this pandemic? So, Ma'am Joy, yung mga little tips niyo po for the parents.
Mm. Uh, para sa mga parents and even sa mga hindi parents, yung mga anak, mga students and the professionals, um, palagay ko maganda na maging clear sa atin na the issue is not how learning should be done or how the learning process should be done. Ang mas kailangan natin bigyan ng emphasis is not yung means that will be used in learning, but to develop yung love for learning. Kasi pagka nandun yung love for learning and your desire to be learning everything that you can learn, no, in your lifetime, palagay ko kahit na ano pa ang means or yung mode ng delivery ng ng learning ang gamitin, madali tayong makaka-adapt doon. Pero kahit na specific or kahit na clear yung gagamitin na mode for learning ng mga estudyante, kung hindi na-develop sa kanila yung love for learning, palagay ko sayang lang. So, might as well do our share of developing in our children, in our kids, yung love for learning. Kasi with the love for learning, I'm sure they would go places.
I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah,
Miss Joy.
definitely.
That is very well said. That is very
Yeah,
well
very
said.
well said. Parang gusto ko na lang ulit mag-aral ulit no sinabi ni Ma'am Joy. Parang,
A lot of people kasi, and one thing that I would also like to add to what Miss Joy said, wag siguro natin pilitin yung mga anak natin sa mga bagay na ayaw nila. It's not fun to learn something that you don't like doing. Remember the saying, kahit nasa hirap ka, basta na-enjoy mo yung ginagawa mo, hindi hirap yung nararamdaman mo. Na imagine, if naghihirap ka na sa trabaho, at hindi mo pa gusto yung ginagawa mo, that's living hell.
Diba?
So there are a lot of people, I know a lot of friends of mine that are lawyers, okay? And literally, they don't like law. Okay, some of them want to be IT guys, some of them want to be doctors, some of them want to be mechanics. But dahil yung tatay o yung nanay, o dahil ang pamilya, iniisip nila, uy, pag naging abogado ka, yayaman tayong lahat.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not worth it. It's not right. And at the end of the day, you're just wasting money. Why? Because baka di oras, during the first year, second year, magta-transfer course yan. Magsi-shift yan.
So, yung money and time. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Speaking from my experience ba, Miss Mitty? Tahimik mo.
Well, kasi siguro some of you just know na agriculture graduate ako eh. Pero kasi yung course na gusto ko talaga is accounting. But,
Mm.
so, yung father ko lang talaga kasi since he's working dun sa, dun sa state university na pagpapasukan ko, mas gusto niya, mas preferred niya na dun din ako mag-aaral. So, wala kasi kaming, walang tuition fee. So, yun, tinapos ko siya. But yung love for math, for accounting, hanggang ngayon, dala-dala ko pa din. Di ba, sir?
Well, you know,
So,
it's a learning process, you know. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
you know, this is one thing that I'd also like to add that what you learn in school is not what you do in the real world.
That
It is
is
the
true.
total opposite, you know. So academics is more like a vacation period. Kasi unang-una,
Grabe
you
yung
know,
vacation.
I don't want to go into the details, you know. But the classic examples there is when you get shipments galing sa abroad, papasok dito, dadaan sa customs. Okay, it doesn't go that fast. Okay, it doesn't go that fast. So there are a lot of things they don't teach you in textbooks. Okay, in terms of additional expenses, then in terms of process flow, diba? So you know, everything's a learning. It's a, you know, even for me, I've been doing business. I've been in the business industry. I've been working for governments. You know, and you know, in my professional career of more than 20 plus years now in this how do I say life of work. I'd always say that I would go back to my youth and go back to school just to have a vacation. Literally, studying is a vacation.
Actually, di ba, since like I only had like 2-ish years right after graduation from college, I could definitely attest to that one na not everything that you learn by the books is yun talaga yung gagamitin mo din through practicalities din. So
Unfortunately.
sometimes you have to like crawl again during adulting period. So parang you have to kinakapa mo ulit kung paano gawin ito, gawin yon. So, but you know, everything, life, the whole life talaga natin is learning process siya. It's very educational. And kung ano nga yung sinabi ni Ma'am Joy kanina, definitely, kung if you open your hearts and your minds lang to the possibilities of learning, to knowledge and education, definitely, malayong mararating mo. Ayun. So, thank you po, Ma'am Joy. So, any last words ko for our viewers po with regards to any message kahit about COVID or about education? Go ahead po, Ma'am Joy.
Yes, COVID. I'd like to look at COVID as a blessing in disguise. No, kasi we can learn so much uh, about life, about relationship, about um, values while going through this phase of our uh, history as a people, as humanity. Marami tayong natutunan sa mga experiences natin while going through this phase na hindi natin matututunan sa kahit na anong books or kahit na anong mga learning materials or mga modality of learning. Pero mga bagay na magagamit natin in the future. Kaya ang aking lang reminder siguro sa lahat ay let's make the most of what we are right now in terms of learning, in terms of gaining experience, in terms of equipping ourselves and enabling ourselves to be ready sa new normal na ating pupuntahan.
New normal, yes.
Oo, pag open lang tayo sa gano'n, palagay ko, hindi naman natin maaalis yung mga problema, mga hassle along the way. Pero
We'll get through it.
we'll hurdle it. Oo, we'll get through it. Kung ganun ang ating pananaw sa mga nangyayari ngayon.
Yes, yes. Very, very beautiful message. Ayan, thank you so much, Ma'am Joy,
Thank you.
for guesting today sa HashtagTV. Ayun.
Episode 20.
Episode 20. So, 20, naka-20 na po pala tayo.
So, madali siyang tandaan. Episode 20 in 2020.
2020. Yes. Ayun, Ma'am Joy. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much po, Ma'am Joy.
Ms. Joy, thank you so much. And we do apologize. You know, we had our cancellations. I know we canceled a couple of times before with Miss Joy, um, but I'm sure you might have been aware, or probably the message was conveyed to you about we've been really trying aggressively to come up with a contact tracing app that we could basically put into to the market, because we've been working avidly with the MIT, US, to get this one running para ma-adapt to sa eskwelahan, sa ating office places, and of course, how they say, to have this one also be an eye opener then from the government na, uy, meron din mga volunteers pa pala that are willing to do this one free of charge. But that's always been my advocacy. You know, we try to provide free solutions. Kaysa sabihin nila na, uy, Mark, yung idealism mo in the world is not really going to be financially beneficial for you. But um, look at what's happening now. Like Shane, how many people would you have expected from a developer's perspective that would have willingly done this one for our country? People would say, uy, ano bang bayad dito? Eh,
Yeah.
tinan mo, ilan ang grupo natin sa development team sa Philippine Volunteers Group. Diba? A huge, there were a lot of people there volunteering. We had candidates that went up to about 80 candidates. Okay, although we're, not as many now because it filtered down. Okay, of course they have their own respective jobs and their own activities, but people are still there working, and it's not because of the money, because there's no money at all. And this is what I always say, if you have that level of personal responsibility to achieve something, you can do it. And it's not about the money. It's about achieving your goal. So I salute those people. They're my heroes.
Yes, technology frontliners. Ayun. Again, so thank you so much again, Ma'am Joy, for being with us today. Ayun, so we hope that you stay safe and stay negative. Ayun. Stay negative.
Thank you, Miss Joy.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's a
very
great
much.
slogan we have. That's a very good slogan. We heard that one from one of our, how do you say, comments? Stay safe and stay negative. Instead of stay positive, stay negative from
Stay
COVID.
negative. Totoo.
From COVID.
From COVID. Ayun. Sige po, bye-bye po, Ma'am Joy. Thank you so much po.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Ayun guys, so it was actually a very productive interview or session or video cast. Hindi ko na talaga alam kasi nagumahalo na talaga yung tech ed sa sinasabi ko. Kasi besh, 2 weeks naman ako nasa tech ed. Diba? So,
Thank you.
ganun pala yun. Like, tama nga naman talaga si Ma'am Joy na that we have to just open ourselves, I guess, to adapting to the new systems. Kasi syempre, we really don't know kung kailan matatapos tong pandemic na to.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, Shane, Midi. When I was watching one of the debates and investigations happening in the US relating to this COVID problem and a number of other aspects, there was one guy that actually talked about a certain quote, another quote, I would say, but I'm not going to quote what he said, but the connotation of that was because there has been pandemics that happened in the past. And it applies to in every aspect of what we do in life. If we don't learn from the past, how can we then change for the future? So we have already lived through a pandemic before. Why were we not prepared for a pandemic now? It's the same thing like when we, when we do business or when we do, when we go into relationships. You know that you went with a person that has this kind of mentality, you broke up, and then you go with a person that has the same type of mentality, you know that that's going to be what's going to happen. You guys are going to break up. So you should then apply what you have learned before, place it into your mind, keep that in your mindset, and then apply that. So when you do a certain action in the future, you don't repeat the same thing again.
Twice, yeah.
So, and this is where, of course, it's a wonderful time when you can actually do the same thing too with kids, especially for those parents na ngayon lang sila nagkakaroon ng oras para sa mga anak nila. I'm very happy to see on social media that They're spending now time with their kids, spending time with their families. They don't go partying, you know, especially yung mga pasaway na
Grabe naman yung
magulang na
party.
wala nang ginawa kundi mag-clubbing, gabi-gabi, barkada-barkada. Ngayon, naka-lockdown, hindi sila masyado nakakapag-barkada. So now we get the ability now to spend time with your families. You know, and I see that literally, left, right, and center on the internet. Oh, bonding time. Ang saya. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, ang saya ng mga anak nila. Sabihin natin yung mga magulang, okay, I'm spending time with my kids. But the kids, it's different. It's totally different. It's a different persona. But it's a different mindset. It's like you're giving them the entire world. Because remember, kids look up to their parents, okay? Maybe be single parents or separated or nawalan, okay? Talagang ikaw lang mag-isa sa kanila. Mas lalo na pag single parent ka na doon, okay? You are literally the world to them. Now, Shane, if you don't mind me saying so, before I pass it forward to Midi, because in all due respect, this is something that even our viewers should be aware of. You know, I salute Miss Shane for being a very, very courageous, hardworking individual. And for all those that are actually watching right now, dapat lahat tayo, we should set ourselves examples to be like Shane. Because in situations like these, she still is capable of putting a strong face. I don't mean pinang-uunahan kita. I hope my Tagalog is correct. But unfortunately, Shane lost her father today. It's a very painful thing to lose a parent. It wasn't because of COVID, and I know Shane would get so emotional if she starts talking about it. So I'll speak up for you as your spokesperson, Shane.
Grabe, spokesperson.
Unfortunately, her father had a tragic accident earlier today, and she can't even leave Metro Manila, can't leave NCR, can't fly out to their respective province, which I'm not going to mention here, but it's a province down south, just to be with her mom. I mean, she can't say be with her dad because the accident's already happened. The tragedy has already happened. But to be there to support her mom, to be beside her mom, to give her all the necessary love that she has to give to a parent, she's not able to do that. And yet she's doing this program. So Shane, you're one of my idols.
Grabe naman tayo sa idols dyan.
No, seriously. Hanga ako sa inyo. Other people would not do this. So I salute you, Mom, for what you're, for the dedication that you do into what you want to achieve. And that applies to for all, you know. Midi has been locked down here, away from her family. And we all have been, you know, suffering. COVID is not a joke, guys. Sabi ko nga sa inyo pag nakikita ko yung mga pasaway dyan, I really want to start swearing. But I'm not going to swear because we had a very distinguished individual as a guest of ours, and people that would watch probably would think otherwise of me. But I'll try to restrain myself. Look at my hands.
Bleep.
Okay.
Bleep.
Wag niyo na lang.
Ano ba yata yan? Parang Morse code naman yata yan.
Oo nga parang wang-wang. Okay. Yung mga pasaway dyan, pakiusap lang. Diba? Huwag niyo naman aksayin naman yung hirap at pagod namin lahat na nagkakandahirap sa lockdown na to. At kayo naman, linalabag ninyo lahat ng mga batas para lang ma-enjoy nyo yung sarili ninyo kung ano man yung gusto nyo gawin at ikalat tong sakit na to. So pakiusap lang. Stay home. Diba? We should have actually named the company, the contact tracing app, Stay Home.
Stay home. Is it too late?
I don't know.
Na-market ka na
Hindi ka naman nalunch sa Google Play Store Baka pwede natin palitan. Stay home. Beep. Okay, stay home guys. Diba? Tinan niyo yung katulad ni Shane. tingnan nyo yung katulad ni Miss Midi. Hindi sila kung sabihin natin, makasama nila yung mga mahal nila sa buhay nila. Dahil sa ginagawa ninyong katarataduhan. Okay? So, buwas-buwasan na natin pagiging pasaway. Wala naman, that means stupidity. Okay? I don't think that's much of a four-letter word. Okay? But, and I don't think I'm gonna get banned on Facebook because of that. But, pakina lang. Diba? Kasi, tingnan nyo isang katulad natin, napaka-dedicated sa trabaho niya. Ganun siya kagrabe ang nangyari sa kanya, sa pamilya niya. At wala siya magawa. Kaya, sana, ayos-ayusin ninyo yung mga buhay ninyo. Stay home. Okay, with that said, I'm gonna be going off air now.
Bye, Sir Mark.
Okay.
Thank you for
very much, guys. Okay, I'll leave for you in a minute. Okay, God bless you all. Thank you.
Mamidi, last few words for our viewers. Na magpa-stay home po kayo, bawal po lumabas.
Oo nga, huwag na kayo lumabas, maawa na kayo. Well, basically siguro sumunod na lang tayo, no? Kasi para din sa atin naman yung yung ginagawa ng natin ng government. Siguro yung iba hindi wag na natin silang gayahin. Let's just kumbaga, let's just follow just for the family, just for our own selves as well. Na para at least ma-enjoy na natin ulit yung buhay na nakasanayan natin before. Yun nga lang, maraming pagbabago talaga. You have to adapt on that. So, kasi sa totoo lang, I'm sure you can feel the same, no? Na you really miss the family. Ako kasi dito 3 months, halos 3 months na ako nandito sa QC. Kung maganda lang yung technology, meron lang tayong technology na ginagamit. So, makakapag-usap tayo through video chats sa family. But you see, kung
Shane, sorry, Midi. Ang tawag ng technology doon, teleportation.
Bye, Sir Mark.
Kasi when she was talking about the technology,
Bye, Sir Mark.
Going from what I just wanted to add that. Because we're so...
Ayoko nga, wag na muna yun. Okay lang yan. Okay na muna yung ganun. Grabe ka talaga. Well, yan. Ano ba? Andyan pa din siya. Ang kulit niya. I mean, basically, yung lang, kasi yung mga tao na they sacrifice more than 2 months of their lives na malayo sa family. And even the frontliners na meron tayo, ang dami na nag-sacrifice ng buhay nila. Just for this pandemic, no, para mas mapababa natin yung number ng cases, ng positive cases, and yung death, natin, yung number of deaths natin. So, I just hope everyone follows na lang kung ano yung mga rules and regulations. At tigilan na yung pagpapasaway. Kasi napakahirap nitong na to, tsaka dapat sama-sama tayo. So, ako, ang ko lang, stay negative with COVID, but stay positive with life. Yun lang.
Yes. Stay negative with COVID, stay positive with life. Ganun talaga yun.
Yes. True.
Okay. Thank you po,
bilisan na natin. Baka pumasok pa si Sir Mark. Tara na.
Okay, Mami, di ba? Bye po. Thank you po.
Bye. Ayun na naman siya.
Ilabasin niyo yun.
Ayun na naman siya. Okay, bye, Shane. Thank you.
Bye, Mami. Thank you. Ayaw mo din po lumabas. O sige, dahil nag-submit ka at nag-comply ka, pwede ka nang lumabas. Ayun. Hirap talaga guys pag binibigyan ng admin access sa Sir Mark, no? Kasi papasulpot-sulpot lang po siya. Anyway, guys. Well, anyway, guys. So the video I will show you, it's basically a song version ng Bawal Lumabas ni Kim Chiu. So for those people na hindi pa po nakakaalam kung ano po yung Bawal Lumabas ni Kim Chiu, search nila po sa on YouTube. It's basically her response to people criticizing ABS-CBN and NTC. Ayun. So I'm pretty sure na sabaw day lang din yun kay Kim Chiu at dahil wala siyang sense that day. Kasi I'm pretty sure lahat naman tayo may sabaw days, guys. Kasi you know what, everyone is human, nangyayari lang talaga yun. Kasi it just so happens na celebrity siya and nasa public platform niya yun ginawa. Ayun guys, so please stop bullying Kim Chiu for that one. Pero i-enjoy na lang po natin yung bago niyang single, single, Bawal Lumabas. Ayun.
Sa classroom may batas, bawal lumabas, bawal lumabas. Pero pag sinabing nag-comply ka, na bawal lumabas. Pero may ginawa pa sa pinagbabawal nila. Inayos mo yung law ng classroom nyo at sinabmit mo ulit. Ay, pwede na pala ikaw lumabas.